Welcome back, Internet. I am Keeney. This is my garage, and today we are going to do a diagnostic summary of a case study that I did not record. It was a pretty short one, and the vehicle was picked up by the client before I could even get some video of the actual car. But I got screenshots and pictures and stuff I sent to them. So I've never seen this issue before in my life, nor did I ever anticipate to see this issue before. Uh, so I want to throw this out there for the world in case someone else shows up with an issue like this. This particular, I think this issue can be on about any car theoretically, but this car in particular was a 2016 Ford Transit Connect, and it had the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine in it. The original complaint was the vehicle was an intermittent no crank, and when it would not crank, the key fob would act goofy as well. So they had two keys for this thing. One key would not start the car, put it in the ignition, roll it to the crank position, message would show up on the cluster, said no key fob detected or something like that. They tried a different key and it worked, and then it stopped working, and then it was intermittent, and then most of the time it wouldn't do it, and this happened over a couple of days or whatever. And then it got to a point where no key would start it, and it was just dead. And when you hit the lock and unlock button, it kind of sounded like the door locks would lock or unlock, but they really wouldn't. It was kind of a weird scenario. Anyway, that was our complaint. Really just a intermittent no crank on this one. When I got to the vehicle, I try to make this video fairly short, so I'll try to hit the points. When I got to the vehicle, I plugged in the Auto scanner. The OBD port would not power up. Okay, well, we're going after this first. So look at pin 16 of the OBD connector, and it goes to a specific fuse. I think I'm going to overlay a wiring diagram here. So OBD2 port goes to a fuse in the body computer, went to that fuse in the body computer. That fuse did not have power on either leg. So if you look at that wiring diagram again, we'll go further upstream, takes us to whatever they call the high voltage junction box or something like that. High current junction box, I think is what Ford calls it. And this high current junction box, there's like three fuse boxes in this car. There's the body computer and passenger footwell. There's the underhood fuse box, which mounts next to the battery. And then there's this high current junction box, which mounts in a skinny little panel on right in front of the battery. It's like the case around the battery that holds the battery in place. It's like the front wall of it. Let's see if I can overlay a picture there. I'm also looking at them over here, so I'm anticipating overlaying this picture right here. In the next two pictures, you'll see for the diagram, we're looking at whatever fuse number that one was. There's power on the top of the fuse, not power on the bottom of the fuse. That fuse was bad. So, wow, well, we got, and that fuse is a 50 amp fuse, which is actually this one in my hand. So 50 amp fuse. And I was like, well, we just need a fuse on this thing. I thought, I don't know, somebody hooked the battery up backwards or something. Don't know. Like, well, that'll cause a lot of issues for sure. I don't know about the intermittent thing. It's like, well, this 50 amp fuse does not work. We should fix that. And so I got a new fuse for it. As I was pulling this fuse off, like out of the high current junction box, there's, it's got a bolt on top, bolt on bottom. I did not have the battery disconnected. And as I pulled it off, the bottom, so this normally has power coming in from the top, goes through it, and it comes out the bottom. And the bottom had a very small arc where the stud came through this hole. I thought, well, that's peculiar. How did we get a spark there? Because there shouldn't be any power there. It's like maybe it's back feeding through the BCM or something like that. Didn't know. So I was like, whatever. We're replacing anyway. Put the new fuse on there. That fixed the issue, and the car worked fine after this. Now comes a part, I've never seen this before in my life. This, small aside, frequently I have clients come in and, they've got an intermittent issue and they say, maybe it's a fuse or whatever. And typically my response to that is, for intermittent issues, there's a low probability it's a fuse. It's my polite way of saying, no, it's not possible. Fuses are binary, they're blown or they work. Good thing I've been polite this whole time, because if I'd have said that to any client, I would have been eating my words right now. This is an intermittent fuse failure. And what I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a couple different ways. I took a video of this. I got my ohm meter, so what you're about to watch. Took my ohm meter and I clipped it on either side of this fuse, on either side, and then twisted it back and forth. And you can see in the meter in the background, it will go from OL to a resistance reading, to OL to a resistance reading. And I thought, you've got to be kidding me. And when I look in it, by the way, you can look in this right now. Let's see if I can get it up. I don't know if it'll focus on it or not, this front camera. But you can see, it looks completely fine. You can see the stripe going throughout there. And, front camera sucks, but, I can see the melt element. It's not melted. I can see inside. I'm like, that's very odd. And so I didn't know what was going on. So I literally pulled this thing apart, and here's what I found. So I'll pull this apart on screen. It's probably going to fall into a million pieces, but here's one half of the fuse. Here's the other half of the fuse. This fuse actually fractured. It did not melt. I don't know, let's get focus on my face. I'm trying to get it where I can see you can see the end of it. It's not melted. It didn't burn. It didn't overcurrent or anything. It actually fractured. I don't know if the fuse box was loose. I don't know if this thing wasn't tight, but this thing, I look at it, it's a clean break. It's a clean break on the end of this. And so what was happening was, when this thing was sitting in a case all bolted up, there was an intermittent connection on this fuse causing an intermittent problem. I've never seen a broken or fractured fuse that does not have any melt. It's not blown, doesn't have the standard look. There's no darkness, there's no melting. You know what I mean? How fuses work, they melt, they overcurrent, they get hot and the thing melts. There's none of that. And so based on, ambient temperature, expansion, contraction, this thing would make a little bit of contact and then break contact, make a little bit of contact, break contact, cause all kinds of problems in the car. Their main concern was a no crank, but a bunch of the exterior lights didn't work and everything. Anyway, that's the long and the short of it. Diagnostic summary: intermittent fuse failure is apparently a thing. Oh, further point. When I called the Ford dealer to go and pick a replacement up for one of these, he said, oh yeah, we got a bunch of those in stock. I didn't even ask when he said this part. I asked after. But he said, oh yeah, we got a bunch of those in stock. We sell a bunch of them. I was like, wait, you sell a bunch of them? I said, wait, you sell a bunch? He goes, oh yeah, I sell them all the time. I'm like, a 50 amp fuse, you sell a bunch of. And still at this point, actually, when I had this conversation with the Ford guy, I had not pulled this apart yet, so I didn't know it was fractured. I just knew something inside it was broken. I assumed I couldn't see it very well, which is kind of true. Anyway, he said, yep, we sell them all the time. And I was like, are people hooking up their batteries backwards all the time and smoking these things? What do you mean you're blowing 50 amp fuses all the time? He's like, I don't know, we just sell them. And so after I got that fuse back, because when I pulled this off and then got the spark thing, so that's when I figured it out. But apparently this is an issue out there, according to the parts guy, right? Just however many he sees, you can fracture fuses, or maybe people are just hooking up their batteries backwards or whatever, blowing a bunch of fuses out all over the place. I don't know, but anyway, we're rambling too long now. Car's fixed with just that little issue there. Luckily for me and the client, really for his pocketbook, when it was here, it was just totally broken. So I winched it in the shop. This was just not making connection, and so I found this pretty quick. We just plug an auto, go to BCM, no power, go to this thing, no power through. Okay, I need one of those. So it was a pretty quick diag, all things considered, and pretty straightforward. But I told the client, man, if this had been intermittent while it was here, I don't know how you potentially could have a lot of hours into a car like that, chasing an intermittent connection inside of a fuse where you can see through the clear cover that it's not blown. It's you can see through this cover and see hey, it looks fine. It was not fine. Anyway, I really just hope this is helpful for somebody out there. intermittent fuse failure is actually a thing. Who'd have thought? Hope that's helpful. I'll catch y'all up in the next video.